Let's just start with the first question. What is the vision of the science curriculum at Renew, and what were you looking to accomplish by creating the vision?
So our actual mission statement is the mission of Renew Science is to develop lifelong problem-solving skills that prepare students for success in a competitive and dynamic society. And I think what we were looking forward in accomplishing this was the stated mission that was past actually preparing for the end of year state test, and how can we set up our students for success in the next grade level, in high school, in the world beyond that, and develop those skill sets. You want to add?
Yeah, and so in order to make this mission a reality, Katie and I created 3 big rocks that we then presented to our cohort members the beginning of the summer to expand upon and define what those will look like in action. So those big rocks are that students will regularly do science. Students will think critically about complex problems and develop a skill set that prepares them for success, as she said, in high school, college, career, beyond where they are at. And students applying strong literacy skills to learning and communicating about science.
Nice. I totally agree. I thought it was really interesting that you brought up problem solving, because that's something I find in science, especially with a STEM-based education, is really super critical. What does problem solving look like then on sort of a more unit or more of a day-to-day basis? What are you looking to see where students are building those problem solving skills?
I think that comes down to the actual instructional tasks. Ultimately every unit has a performance task, so they're solving some type of problem there. But it's when you come to problem solving, any type of challenge or when you have an experiment that doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, that students just are not shutting down.
Yeah.
Even if the challenge is sort the vocabulary words or something like that, or what do you think about this? A big question, that you're building those skills of perseverance.
Yeah.
So when they can apply it to bigger projects. I think we're looking for students that again can apply that skill set to a problem and overcome any challenges that might arise.
Gotcha. So adding perseverance or even more of a resilience, building that when they're faced with a problem or just a scenario that they don't know.
Exactly. How do you build the tallest tower given a limited supply of materials?
Yeah.
Just so they're this is hard and don't shut down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also through the 5E structure that we work with our teachers to be using on a daily basis in the engage, explore parts of those lessons, that explore is a problem in itself where you want kids to pull out that information on their own before the teacher then tells it to them and summarizes it and we explain.
Yep.
So, even with our brand new teachers that are struggling with bringing in problem solving skills, that's where I start first, is
Exactly.
How can we develop a small little challenge in the start of class that's going to get kids thinking before you tell them.
Nice. So the next one is Renew defines itself as reinventing education. So the next one is Renew defines itself as reinventing education, and then how does the science curriculum fit in to Renew's vision for itself?
So in terms of reinventing education, I think it's we're moving past again just preparing for the state test, and I think the 2 big things that we did to do that is including performance tasks. And so these are planned opportunities for students to apply all the knowledge and skills from a unit into solving a 2-day problem or lab or some type of activity task where they actually do science and apply those literacy and problem solving skills. The next big thing is the science fair. And so that is a year-long project that is planned for teachers and students to execute and then eventually present their experiment and their findings to community members and actually defend their results and again doing science. And I think that takes away from those instructional days where it would just be are we focused on the end of year test? So we want them to move past that and have those real world experiences.
Truth.